Look. Did the site go down? No, it was glitched and not loaded. Maybe a lot of people are using it because it just went live 3 hours ago. So maybe a ton of people are flooding the site. All right, I could see that happening. Because what I want to do, I wanted to view all categories. Okay, here we are. So here's all the categories of the Game Awards. All right. Game of the Year, obviously. Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Score and Music, Audio Design, Performance, which is from an actor or, mocap artist. Innovation and Accessibility, Games for Impact, Best Ongoing, and that's usually like an MMO or online game. Best Community Support, Best Indie, Best Debut Indie, Best Mobile Game, Best VR AR, Best Action Game, Best Action Adventure, which is weird. Action or Action Adventure, difference. Best RPG, Best Fighting Game, that'll be interesting. Best Family Game, Best Sim and Strategy Game, Best Sports Racing, Best Multiplayer, Best Adaptation, Most Anticipated Game of Next Year, Content Creator of the Year, I can't wait to see that. Best Esports Game, Best Esports Athlete, and Best Esports Team. And then Player's Voice, which doesn't start till December 2nd, all right? So obviously, we want to go right ahead, and we want to look at Game of the Year, okay? What games got the nod for Game of the Year? Are you ready? Astrobot from Team Asobi, Balatro from Local Thunk, Black Myth Wukong from Game Science, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree from Software, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Square Enix, and way down here, which is weird, why is it another row? Metaphor Ray Fantasio by Studio Zero or Atlas. Now, I'm just gonna say this. The way they set this up, the first thing that happens when you open Game of the Year, what do you see? You see these 5 games. So you know what's gonna happen? Literally everyone's gonna click on the site. They're gonna go here and they're just gonna vote on these 5. No one's gonna scroll down and realize that Metaphor is there. This is bad site design. If you're going to have something where you're going to have it all equal, they all should be sitting next to each other. Or maybe it should be like, 3 and 3, not 5 and 1. I know this from my own polls that I've set up over the years. If you have something at the very end and it's not prominent, it never gets as many votes as everything else. So I think they kind of screwed it up there. Now, maybe if you zoom out, right, it'll actually, if you zoom way out to 67%, see, I was on 100. This is normal zoom level. And on normal zoom level, Metaphor gets the shaft. So whoever designed their website, I'm sorry, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Just being honest, that's actually awful. And I would wonder if Metaphor will get cheated out of votes because of the way that they have set up this site. Okay? Now, to comment on these games, all right? Astrobot, did I play it? Yes, I did. Did I beat it? Yes, I did. Did I 100% it? Almost. The things I didn't do were like, get the jackpot on the slot machine on this certain stage. I got every collectible in the game that was like meaningful and everything. So I played the heck out of it. I loved it. Okay? Balatro. I have no clue what the hell this game is at all. I've never heard of it. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Is it an indie game? I'm assuming it is. Now, one person that I know said they played it and actually really like it, and that it's basically an indie game made by one person. Game of the Year. An indie game made by one person that most people have never heard of and didn't play. Game of the Year. You know what this reminds me of? The Oscars. Why does this remind me of the Oscars? Because every year at the Oscars, right, there's like 10 movies that were the best movies of the year when it comes to like popularity, how many people saw them, how much money they made, and how many people talk about them. And they never get nominated for Best Picture, right? Almost never. It's always a bunch of indie films that you've never heard of. It's like, what is it? What the hell? And then, some movie wins, and then ultimately that movie finally gets watched because it won the Academy Awards, and people will go get it and watch it. But in this case, right, what is Balatro? And again, I'm not crapping on the game. Why is it in there? Even if this is like the best indie game of the year, shouldn't it be in best indie of the year? How is this game of the year contender worthy when no one knows what it is? I'm just being honest. Again, I'm not trying to shit on it, but not once did I hear this game mentioned anywhere this year. Not on social media, not in my chat, not on my streams. No one asked me to play it. What is it? At the very least, I know what all the other games are. What is this? That just baffles me. All right. And you might say, well, it deserves to be there. But then you're going to say, well, wait a minute. If that deserves to be there, what about a few other games? All right. But let's continue. Black Myth Wukong. Listen, more power to you if you fell in love with Black Myth Wukong and it's your game of the year. I played halfway through it. I got so bored. And my audience got so bored. It's just a wandering around repetitive combat game. It's not very special. Once you get past how good the graphics were on PC, and the veil was kind of lifted, once you get to that third chapter and you realize this is the whole game, I got so fucking bored with it. Like I said, I feel like Black Myth Wukong was a good first attempt. If they come back in a 2-3 years and they do Black Myth 2, and that game has way more gameplay elements, better world design, I'll be like dead on okay game of the year. For me, this is not a game of the year contender. It's a good game, don't get me wrong, but it is not a game of the year contender. All the shortcomings we talked about when it was out, and collectively most people agreed, I don't even understand. You know what this screams? The games journalist who voted on game of the year didn't beat it. They played it, they got through like the first 1 or 2 chapters and said, oh, it's good, and then they just stopped playing it and didn't see any of the shortcomings of the games that literally start in chapter 3, and then they said, oh, it's a game of the year contender. If you didn't beat the game, don't fucking nominate it. And I get the feeling most people who nominated it never beat it. Okay. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. Well, let's analyze this, shall we? Is Shadow of the Erdtree a good game? Yes. Is Shadow of the Erdtree rife with new content, gameplay mechanics, and design elements? I guess you could argue yes to at least 2 out of those 3. It has an insane amount of new weapons and ways to play it from the base Elden Ring game. It's got a crazy amount of content. It's a very long DLC. I would argue, though, it is very much just Elden Ring again, right? It's not like they reinvented the wheel. They didn't necessarily change the formula of Elden Ring that much. It is Elden Ring a second time, right? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Well, here's the thing. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII, you loved it. If you're not a if you're not a fan of too many Fs, if you're not a fan of Final Fantasy VII, you probably would like it. For me, I was enjoying it. My audience hated it. I was having a great time with the game. And then 20 hours in, my audience got completely bored with it, stopped attending streams, and begged me never to play it again, so I stopped. So honestly, I don't feel like I can fairly judge the game because I only played 20 hours out of an 80-hour gameplay experience, right? The 20 hours I played, I very much was enjoying. What I didn't like is that the open world segments were becoming repetitive. Not to say that that's the whole game. It's not. The game actually had more than just the open world segments. But the open world segments really were getting disappointing and repetitive. Now, I think it's a fine game, quite frankly. I wish that I could have kept playing it. My audience didn't want it. Okay? Lastly, for me, this is the most disappointing game on the list, and it's not for why you think. It's not because I'm upset that this game is on the list. It's because I agree with Metaphor being on the list so much that I really wanted to play it, and I couldn't. Metaphor ReFantazio. I played 12 hours of the demo, and I love this game. I think the graphics are outstanding. The gameplay elements are very good. In fact, they're a step up from Persona 5. From all reports, the game is absolutely amazing, right? And I wanted to play it. And again, much like what happened to me with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, people weren't showing up for the streams. I'm not streaming for myself. If I'm going to play the game, I play it offline myself, I guess. But I can't stream it if no one's going to show up. And I had streams where, 150 people, no support. And this is my job. I got to do what's going to bring people to the streams. I'm supposed to be an entertainer. I'm not playing the game to play it for myself. You understand? So this is kind of the same situation as Rebirth, where I was liking it. But for some reason, this was the year of me playing RPGs, but no one caring about RPGs. So, it is what it is. So, out of this list, okay, to be quite frank with all of you, I disagree with Balatro just because I've never heard of it. Maybe it's best indie game of the year, but I don't think it should be game of the year. It sounds like a wasted spot to me. And I don't agree with Black Myth Wukong because I actually played more than halfway into it and saw how bad it gets halfway through. I think most game journalists never got past chapter 2, just to be honest, you know. However, man, are people upset for multiple reasons, mostly omissions. What games are not on this list that most people collectively agreed this year are great? The first game is Stellar Blade. This game that everyone claimed was the best combat game, and it was riveting and revolutionary. But the funny part was every time I tried to get information about it, all I heard about was how the protagonist was sexy. How when she climbs the ladder, her butt jiggles. And I'm like, it would have been great if like there was discourse about how good the game was, but I never saw it. Maybe it does exist. Maybe you got to search for it, right? But I never really got to find out why Stellar Blade was good. I didn't play it. I wasn't interested in it. As I told you, the whole Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, that kind of game, I'm not very interested in it. You know, at one point I tried them back in the day. Don't really like them that much. They get very repetitive, I feel. I much enjoy other games better, which is why I didn't play Stellar Blade. You know, it's the same reason I didn't play Bayonetta 3. I didn't play a lot of these games over the last several years because I'm not interested in them. But a lot of people collectively think that Stellar Blade should have been a Game of the Year contender and are feeling that it is this jury of very liberal games media people are upset because the game had sexualized content in it, and they're not for that. How dare this game have a sexualized woman as the protagonist? Not acceptable. Cannot be Game of the Year. Leave it off the list. Now, the other game that's big missing from this list that I think a lot of people are very upset about is Silent Hill 2 Remake. Okay? Silent Hill 2 Remake is on par with the level of quality as Resident Evil 2 Remake from many years ago. It's not just we took the game and upgraded it to HD visuals and regurgitated it and charged you full price. It's a new game. Yes, it has the same plot as the original Silent Hill 2, but everything is redone from the ground up. The graphics, the controls and gameplay elements, the puzzles, the combat. It's a whole new game. I mean, it's like more than twice the length of the original Silent Hill 2. It's amazingly good. I loved it. I loved every minute I was playing it. I mean, some of those boss fights, the Abstract Daddy boss fight, holy shit, they redid it in such an amazing way to make it feel so crazy modern but spooky at the same time. It's really well done. And I'm just like scratching my head. How in the hell did Balatro get on this list and not Silent Hill 2 Remake? Did no one fucking play it? And again, that's what I feel is like these journalists who they have on their jury didn't play games like Stellar Blade or Silent Hill 2, but instead played Balatro because all their friends told them it was the hot new indie game. So they played it and they put it on the list. That's fucking stupid. And another thing, you might say, well, Silent Hill 2 is a remake. Yeah, well, Shadow of the Erdtree is a DLC. So I could counter you, you know, same bullshit. If this isn't a full-fledged new game, then this shouldn't be on the list either. If that's your reason for keeping Silent Hill 2 Remake off the list. Okay? So, I hate to say it. Once again, this year, we have no Baldur's Gate 3 this year. Right? And because we have no Baldur's Gate 3, we have no consensus. And this is going to be a very heated debate of which of these games should be the winner. Can I be frank? All right? These first three should not be on this list. Astrobot's a great game, and yes, it's a great platformer, but it's not Game of the Year stuff. It's been there, done that. If you've played platformers recently, as I was playing it, I was like, oh, it feels like Super Mario 3D World or Land or whatever, right? Because it does. It shouldn't be a Game of the Year contender. It's a great game. It's the best platformer of the year, but it's definitely not Game of the Year material. This game I never heard of, and this game is actually not that good halfway in. So these three are a joke. So for me, between Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor, How do I judge? And the answer is I actually can't. You want to know why? Because I didn't finish 7 and I didn't finish Metaphor. So by default, my game of the year in this list is Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree.